Welcome back, YouTubers, to another Raw review with us, the British Fist,
Coaching,
where Raw got rocked indeed. It's just a shame it wasn't very good. I'm Mr. Parkin. Sitting next to me is the man they call NJ.
what's up?
Make sure you guys subscribe to us up above, like this video, and get your comments on this edition of Raw down in that comment section below.
Make sure you contact us in the links in Glitch box below.
Yes, and to start off this edition of Raw Gets Rocked, what better way to begin with than something which not really anyone cares about? It's Michael Cole's challenge. Why did they open up with this thing that no one really cared about? It's got nothing to do with Survivor Series, and they've been building it up for weeks. Who really gives a shit about this, and why is it opening the show? It's not even that entertaining. Not a great way to open the show.
All I can say is that they know they had to do this because they had mentioned about it in weeks past, so they're getting the worst part of Raw done over with.
It's not been saved from after Survivor Series. We got arm wrestling, dance competition. Who weighs less? It was just like Michael Cole wins, and it's like who really gives a shit. I'll admit, JR dancing was kind of entertaining, but this whole segment just why open with this?
It was horribly fixed, and the whole thing is like we have Michael Cole staying on announcing and JR removed. Just horrible.
Just why do this? And then we get Punk coming out saying that the Cole challenge was pointless. So I have it. Yeah, and then John Nice comes out and makes a match for tonight. Mark Henry and Del Rio versus Show and Punk, the two main events combining in our 2-hour main event, might I add.
The thing I would say is, yes, it's good you had all this done, but really, CM Punk dragged that on.
Yeah.
Yes, he gave the unaccounted advice to Michael Cole, but bringing Punk out really dragged the Cole bit on long, and I really did not like that.
Yeah, it was a really awful way to open up especially a go-home show, and open a go-home 3-hour show to Survivor Series. We'll move on from that. JR's dancing, my God. We had Mick Foley coming up backstage. We'd hear more from him tonight. Jesus Christ. But then we got a tag team match. Sin Cara and Kofi Kingston versus Hunico and Rhodes. 4 people involved in the Survivor Series match. I guess this kind of makes sense, doesn't it? Rhodes come out with no mask and new music. What do you think?
What I'll say is that without the mask, I've been complaining about it before because obviously I've seen Cody without the mask and I just thought he's grown as a dark character. He doesn't really need the mask to be a dark character. And the music, oh my gosh, they've ruined it.
Yeah, as a Cody Rhodes mark, I did like his mask because that kind of made him stand out a little bit. But we'll move on. Rhodes gets the win. I was surprised with this. He wasn't featured on TV on SmackDown, and he gets the win despite not really getting any offense in.
No, at first I was thinking, oh gosh, Sin Cara's in the ring with his partner. Is Cody Rhodes going to get knocked down? But luckily, Cody Rhodes picked up the win. I really like that. He's giving the heels the win going into the pay-per-view.
Yeah, even though most of this match was ad break. They had to take the ad break there just for the opening segment. We then get Vicky Guerrero coming out and announcing that Christian is injured and that Ziggler is in. Ziggler's in the 5-on-5 match, which means we're probably not going to get a US title match to the pay-per-view.
With Ziggler's losing streak, I really didn't care if he got added or not. It's just not giving me a positive feeling that he's going to get a win.
I personally feel that this would have been a good time to put Brodus Clay in that match. What a way to introduce a guy like Brodus Clay in a 5-on-5 match while freeing Ziggler up to maybe have a US title match against Morrison, Ryder, Mason Ryan, maybe.
Because having Brodus Clay, a guy who hasn't had a winning or losing streak, a guy that is dominant as he is, it could have made the heels look a lot more stronger going into this pay-per-view.
Yeah, he was supposed to appear as well, wasn't he?
Yeah, it's a bit of a shame that he keeps saying he's coming, doesn't come, and whatever. We got Ziggler in it now.
Yeah, I always thought that Barrett should have been the one saying this, like, coming out and saying, for the Injured Christian, I pick Dolph Ziggler, but we didn't get that, I guess. But
the mouthpiece of the group, Wade Barrett should have been the one to say it, but Vicky being the manager of them too, I guess she wanted to present her boy Ziggler to be in the match.
Her boy Ziggler, eh? Cougar. We then got Ziggler versus Mason Ryan in a 1-minute match, which pretty much ends in a DQ. I guess with these two now being at the match, it was kind of decent, not ending it clean. And we get Jomo coming out and feeding Ziggler to Mason Ryan. I wonder if they're setting up a Ziggler-Morrison feud after Survivor Series.
Well, there's that partition going on backstage that they want Ryder to be the next competitor. But having Jomo, again, they could do a triple threat, they could do anything.
I'm Zack Ryder, I'm filming for my YouTube show. Where, fucking Ryder. Yeah, so I wonder what they're going to do with the US title picture after this now. It's kind of a bit confusing at the moment. Hopefully that'll be cleared up after Survivor Series as our US champion is in the 5-on-5. We then get a Mick Foley segment. He comes out talking about John Cena, they really tried to get John Cena over as a face with this segment, didn't they? It was really weird. It just kind of shows how the crowd really feel about John Cena, especially in his hometown.
Yeah, Cena really needed this. He really did, because he doesn't look like a face anyway. No.
Yeah, and NJ, this is your life! Exactly, yeah, that's what I thought. They tried to recreate the Rock segment that drew an 8.4 rating. I doubt this will be drawing any ratings because it wasn't really that good at all. Mick Foley runs this. This is your live segment. You have Bull Buchanan coming out. John Cena's dad. He comes out saying that all the fans that think Cena sucks suck. So that's you might take offence there, Cena. A Cena hater.
I'll say his dad sucks.
What did you think of this segment overall? It just dragged on big time, didn't it? And they just what was the point in bringing Mick Foley back for this? It was
all I'll say is the highlight of this segment. It was really quick. It was The Rock coming in, just walked straight to Mick Foley, rock bottom, and walked out.
Yeah, that was the most entertaining part of the segment. It did drag on. We got a lot of Ryder backstage tonight, didn't we?
Yeah, we needed that. We needed that big time. Yeah, we needed that.
Yeah, anyway, we'll move on. The next match we had was Sheamus versus Jack Swagger. Again, two guys in the Survivor Series match. This was actually more competitive than I expected. I expected a squash match, but at least it was kind of competitive, even though Sheamus won.
Swagger's not built up to be a guy that I thought is going to be a possible good wrestler in this 5-on-5. So for Sheamus to beat him, it was going to happen anyway.
It was standard, pretty much, wasn't it? But a decent match, and it was part of the Survivor Series hype. So there we go. Yes, and then we get to the traditional Diva segment, which the people who we pay loads of money to, the G-Time segment guys, will cover just after this. Well, we had 5 divas in the ring, NJ. That's 5 times more fun than you can get with one diva, isn't it?
Oh, yes, it was very appalling.
Yes, I just wish it Survivor Series on Sunday, which I'm not watching, but I may record it on my 52-inch TV. That there's a 5-on-5 match, so we can see 10 divas in that ring, strutting their stuff, as you would so say.
It'll be very interesting. Bet what we got on Raw.
Yes, Kelly wins in about 1 minute. Who really cares? Divas of Doom? You're a joke!
Goodbye.
And after that very, very patriotically done Tea Time segment by the Tea Time segment guys, who only appear on Raw and pay-per-views, they really need to start looking out for the channel a bit more, don't they?
I think they're pretty good on Raw. They do this because Raw has been lacking positivity recently. So having them there definitely lifts up the ratings.
Definitely brings it up. Yeah, definitely brings up the ratings on our main event, the Diva segment. Yeah, we then get Brodus. We then get the news that Brodus Clay isn't going to be on Raw again. You know, this is really stupid to me because you've advertised Brodus Clay now like 3 weeks in a row, and they have not followed up on it. But maybe I'm thinking it's best to wait until after Survivor Series to include him, because then they can actually probably do something with him.
Because at the minute, of course, they're trying, being the keyword, hype up Survivor Series. So having Brodus Clay interfering and getting involved, it wouldn't do much hype or good stuff to pay-per-view. Bring him afterwards.
And then we get our 2-hour main event. We have Del Rio attacking Punk backstage, which leads, exactly, make Del Rio look cheap and strong, I guess. We then have our 2-hour main event, Big Show and Punk versus Del Rio and Mark Henry. Your thoughts on this segment overall?
Okay, the attack burst was good, I thought, because obviously you need... Because Del Rio's been booked horribly recently, so he needs something that makes him look strong or something cheaty to win.
Yeah.
So he does the attack, I like that. And the match, again, it was hard to say. The main thing I think they're focusing on more was Big Show and Mark Henry, majority of the match.
Yeah, they have the aftermath, so I guess I imagine they would have focused a bit more on the match. So for me, this tag team match was okay. It was nothing special. It was a typical sort of TV match. Del Rio steals the victory after Mark Henry does a World's Strongest Slam on CM Punk, so at least they're making their champion look a little bit strong. Then you have the post-match attack on Punk, which was good as well. Makes the champion look strong going into the pay-per-view. And also you had Mark Henry and Big Show brawling outside. So it did a decent job of hyping up both the main event matches, or both the title matches for Survivor Series. You know, Rock's getting that main event, brother.
Because in the past couple of weeks, we've seen Punk get the upper hand. So it's good that we have Del Rio getting the upper hand during this. I really liked how they did this match.
Definitely so. We then get Santino Marella coming out with a mic, and we're thinking, oh god, this is amazing. Santino on the mic. But then Kevin Nash comes out, and all the ratings that Santino could have got with that mic time have just been with Nash coming out and big booting him.
Because he speaks about Santino speaks about his Royal Rumble and how he's this close to winning.
This close to winning.
And then Kevin Nash says that he was in the Royal Rumble and he got the biggest pop. I was like, okay, yeah, she's done this to Triple H not being there, blah, 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 move on.
Yeah, exactly. Did this segment really need to be there? Triple H and Kevin Nash aren't involved at Survivor Series. Why do they have this segment there just on the go-home show to Survivor Series when they should really be doing it maybe on the road to TLC if they're going to have a match there? It just really, really questions me, this whole thing.
It would have been an idea, but I guess it was just filler.
Yeah, it was pretty much filler with Nash talking about Triple H not hiring him. Did this need to be there, especially with the amount of filler we got tonight, which was a fucking lot. A lot of filler was on tonight's show, wasn't it? It really does grow to wonder, why make a 3-hour show when you're just going to put this much fucking filler in?
That's true.
We move then on to Captain versus Captain rematch from the main event of SmackDown. Wade Barrett versus Randy Orton. Like, again, why have this match again? Can WWE not be a little bit more creative with the matches they give us?
They were a bit creative because this time they had their Survivor Series partners with them.
Yeah, exactly, which is good because it's nice to see the teams actually interacting because we haven't really seen too much of that yet. So for me, that was good that they brought the teams out, and the way the match went, it went like 3.5 minutes, ended with a DQ, and then you had the faces and the heels brawling on the 5-on-5. I thought that was a good little way of, hyping up that match at Survivor Series. Just at least we've seen some team-on-team action now before the pay-per-view.
Well, one, it saved Wade Barrett, who's been getting this big push recently, win over Randy Orton. It saved him from getting buried or knocked back down a few steps. The attack of all the competitors was good, I thought, because obviously it just ramped them all up, got them all involved at the end of the final part of Raw, so I thought it was good.
And the faces coming out on top kind of would make me to believe that Wade Barrett's team may win at Survivor Series, but who knows?
Would be interesting.
Decent segment there for the pay-per-view hype, I'll give it that. And then we have our main event. The reason why this Raw was called Raw is Rocked. We had The Rock coming out, pretty much talking about himself and Twitter, and it's like, wow, isn't there a pay-per-view coming up which you need to mention, Rock? Come on! Mention the pay-per-view in your match!
It got the crowd going, but at the same time, there was times when he wanted to respond, and it weren't that loud and that, but all of a sudden, it was concentrating more on how The Rock got to where he is, and then he mentioned the pay-per-view a little bit, which brought out Awesome Truth.
And with those reaction things you were talking about, it really does show how little the business has come since when The Rock was around. When The Rock was around, he was getting massive reactions. This time, he didn't get as big a reaction as, for example, his WrestleMania guest host Raw. But yeah, I mean, I like Rock's promos, but I think he didn't talk enough about the match. But at least the segment kind of picked up when Awesome Truth come out and they have this face-off with The Rock. I thought Rock's mic time was a little bit too long, personally, but at least they brought Awesome Truth out to face off with The Rock, I guess.
And the thing about Awesome Truth is, yes, they had their words in, but even they didn't get a proper reaction or feel to this, so they didn't really save it, in my opinion.
Yeah. After you have a feeling that they're going to have a confrontation, out comes John Cena, and then The Rock and Cena take pot shots at each other, and I'm just like, man, it's more hype for their WrestleMania match and the feud between them two than it is for the tag team match. And Miz and R-Truth were actually sort of, they kind of made it feel that way, and the way they just went, I'm sick of this! I'm sick of all this bullshit here! It's all about me and R-Truth! And I think that was well done. It's just that it became more about Rock and Cena, this segment did.
Even though their back and forward commitments were funny, it got us entertained. It's just that Awesome Truth were doing the right thing, waiting there, came at the right time, and then brought the attention back to Survivor Series.
Yeah, which needs to happen, really, especially with one of the biggest pay-per-views of the year. You need to bring attention to that match. And then we have the little face-off between the two teams. Rock and Cena beat on Truth and Miz. I pretty much expected this. Why would they have Rock get beat down by Awesome Truth? That would have been a great way to hype up the match, in my opinion.
It would have done good for Awesome Truth. He hadn't been booked brilliantly over the last few weeks.
Yeah.
But the thing I did like about this is that Rock, it was the Rock show, basically. He takes down both Awesome Truth and Cena just left shocked.
Yeah, exactly. So Rock pretty much steals the spotlight. Yeah, I mean, it was, I guess, a decent segment hyping up the main event for Survivor Series. Truth and Miz didn't really get much in there, I didn't feel. But again, I kind of expect Truth and Miz to win now based off this segment. I really do think Cena and Rock are going to have a miscommunication, or they're going to screw each other, and that's going to lead Awesome Truth to win. And I think that'll be the right thing to do.
It would be an idea, but we'll save more of our thoughts when we do our prediction video.
Yeah, the preview video will be up on Saturday, I imagine. So yeah, your overall thoughts on this Raw. Raw gets rocked, the 3-hour special. Yeah, it was pretty boring, wasn't it? Yeah.
The thing is, there's not many parts of Raw that I actually enjoyed.
No.
Rock coming out, Rock by Mick Foley. Mick Foley actually weren't there to do anything special, not really. Then we had the whole Divas getting buried, and then the main events. It was good. We had the whole bonfire action, which was good. Rock coming out and having his moment. So again, they're in parts that actually meant something to this Raw.
I've got a question for you, MJ. How many matches are on the card at Survivor Series, one of the big 4 pay-per-views of the year? How many matches are on the card? Do you know?
There's 5.
There's 5 matches on the card, WWE. Does this not tell you something? That you need to kind of... You should have... I didn't feel there was anything new to tonight's show. There was no hype for anything new. It was all just hyping, 4 or 5 matches. And the Divas match wasn't even properly mentioned in the segment they did. This was a really boring show for me, apart from a few segments. The Mick Foley stuff was stupid. Opening the show with Cole was ridiculous. There was a lot of filler as well. And if you're going to do a 3-hour show... Why do it a 3-hour show when you're having so much damn filler? It was just really boring. it hyped up what it needed to for the pay-per-view, but there was still, the segments weren't great, and there was nothing new done. There was no new matches announced, and I really think that this card needs it, because there's only 5 fucking matches.
Well, there's 2 things I'm going to say. Number 1, what other possible matches could there be? And number 2 is, we've got 1 show left WWE. Do something about it.
And it's funny that I actually trust SmackDown more than Raw to give us hype for this pay-per-view now, the way SmackDown's been going. So yeah, the grade, quickly.
D.
D plus, C minus for me. There were some effective segments, but not very good. Get your thoughts on this episode of Raw down in that comment section below, of course, as you usually do. And as NJ usually does, he's going to take us out of this video and be entertaining just like The Rock.
And all I can say, people, is thank you for watching our Raw review. And all I can say is, hope that you were rocked as much as we weren't. And all I can say now, from the British Fish, which is Mr. Parkin and me, NJ, goodbye.